Welcome guys, I am Vikram Kakkar, a student of ACAS Cloud. Today we will have a look at how to create Azure Bastion hosts. So what is Azure Bastion? Azure Bastion is a fully managed service that offers more secure and seamless RDP and SSH access to your VMs without any exposure through public IP addresses. So RDP for your Windows machines and SSH for Linux VMs. With Azure Bastion, you don't have to go through the RDP connection process to your VMs by using their public IPs. You can log into your VMs from the Azure portal itself. Also, you can create one Bastion host and log into multiple PCs without the need of entering your username and password repeatedly. So let's have a look on Azure how to create a Bastion host. I've already created a resource group. I'll now create a virtual network. I'll create two subnets within this. One will be a subnet which will be used by the NSG and a VM which I'll create. And the other will be a subnet specifically created for Azure Bastion, and it needs to be called Azure Bastion subnet. Only then Azure will recognize it. I'll click create. The VNet is created. I'll now create a network security group. The NSG is created, and I will now create an inbound security rule within it to allow all traffic. I will associate this NSG with the subnet I have created. It will not be the Azure Bastion subnet. I reserve that for the Bastion. Now I'll create a VM with no public IP. So if I want to log into the VM, as I mentioned in the beginning, I don't need to use the public IP of the VM. Instead, the Bastion host will have its own public IP. So even if you create 10 VMs, you don't need public IP for those 10 VMs. You only have the Bastion host with one public IP, and via the Bastion host, you can connect to the VMs. The VM has been deployed now. If you go on the left, you can see the option over here of Bastion, which means that you can connect to your Windows VM via the Bastion, but we haven't created a Bastion yet. So let's do that. We go to the search bar and type Bastion. I'd already selected it, so I've got this option over here. You just select Bastions and click create. It's a fairly simple configuration. I give it a name. I'll select the basic option since I only have one VM to connect to. I'll select the region. This has to be the same region which we have selected in our resource group and our VNet. I'll select the VNet which we have created and the subnet which will be the Azure Bastion subnet. I will create a new public IP for this. I'll call it BH IP. And I will click create. The Bastion host has been deployed. Now let's test if the configuration works. So we go to the VM we have created, and on the left we click Bastion. It gives us, and we click connect. We click here allow. So we have managed to log into the VM via the Bastion host. So this is quite a useful feature in Azure. Hope today's session is useful for you guys. Thank you very much. Thank you.